What's up, everybody? Brian Mann here, Hands-On Auto Training, end of day. This is October 5th, 2021. Just so you guys remember, premium members, we've got our meeting on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, anybody else who signed up for core or premium subscriptions will be entered in for the drawing. We're going to have that drawing on this Friday, the 8th. I think that's the 8th. Yeah, the 8th. We're going to have our drawing for the UScopes. We're giving away 10 UScopes. That's 2 UScopes a month for the next 5 months we're giving away. All right, first job of the day is this 14 Malibu. I believe it has a replacement cluster. This is a new cluster from GM. Let's see what we got here. Access open, let's go menu. Well, let's see, it says cycling through this, service side detection, open, close the window. I thought it said, oh, it's a hybrid car. I didn't even know that. Fancy pants. So on this job was interesting. The cluster actually said hybrid. It was a Malibu hybrid when I started the job. And once we got the right calibrations in there, it was no longer a hybrid. So that went good. And guys, just a note, you got to follow all the steps here. It's super important to follow all those steps of the configuration, setup, and the programming in the right order. And thanks to Pete at the shop I'm working at, he showed me we can't get the mileage display until we flip the door latch. The door's got to be closed. I didn't realize that, like the older Fords. And our next stop of the day is a 2007 Pontiac G6 with eyelashes. And we're setting a P0604. The 604 code is a random access memory code. We're going to try and update this and see if it takes care of it. There is a possibility this thing may brick and never be good again. I've had that happen before. We'll give it a try. For whatever reason, that was a challenge to get the right calibrations going here for this, but we got it figured out. We're going to go ahead and start programming. Let's see what happens. Okay, that only took about 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes. Got our warranty claim code. We'll see if this code goes away. I'm going to go ahead and reach in here and start this thing up. Unfortunately, this program on this G6 did not take care of the code that they have for the RAM fault. Next up, we've got ourselves a 2009 Malibu. Check this out. Let's see if it'll start. Okay, I've been told if it doesn't start to turn the steering wheel. So let's see if I can get this to act up. Try and hold it there. They also said when it'll start, you'll get the gas gauge to move. Now we got a power steering message, and we have a no crank. So, no crank. Shop told me, I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick, see if you guys can see. They told me if you jerk on the steering wheel, oh, there it goes. I was holding the key and I turned the steering wheel. I don't know if you guys could see that. They had told me if you turn the steering wheel, you'll have the gas gauge come and go. So check that, watch the tach and the gas gauge. So my tach's bouncing and my fuel gauge. So we got probably something with a power steering control module, I'd have to say, is my guess with the network, but I don't know about that for sure. We'll see. Let's take a whole look at, we'll take a look at the DTCs first. All right, so we got 33 codes in this car. That's awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is take a look at the bus on this. I want to see where this data bus goes. Wow, lots of stuff going on here. I'm going to get a look at a bus. All right, so I just went and grabbed the UScope real quick. Let's turn this on, see what we have here. I got my DLC breakout box plugged in there. I do have my scan tool plugged in. Let's just go to, we can see 4 and 5 are lit up here. We're reading 13.4 volts across there. Let's go ahead and take a look. We go high voltage there, we got that. Let's take a look at our low speed. Low speed bus looks good. That is pin 1 here. Let's take a look at can high. Ooh, that looks a bit like a repetitive pattern. Yeah, this is no good, guys. That's this module's trying to talk, but they're not. Let's go ahead and take a look at can low. All right, so that's pin 14 there, and that looks like garbage. Okay, all I did was just pull down the hush panel here. I'm really hoping you guys can see. But do you see the twisted pair right there? Let me see if I can pull this down. This is, these two color wires, the tan and black, are almost always the CAN bus. So somebody's spliced into this baloney. We gotta go figure this out. Upon a bit further investigation, the other end of this twisted pair goes to this here. They spliced this in. I don't know what this baloney is, but this is a twisted pair that is going out under the hood. Let's go find out where it goes. It's a little red and white wire. I have no idea what's going on here, guys. This is going to be interesting. There's the brake fluid cap somebody lost. Look at, now they got a matching set. Okay, so this is going into this harness here. Oh man, what did they do? Why did they do it? Wow. This is starting to look expensive. So then that goes down to here. So somebody was bypassing some stuff or rerunning a CAN bus wire. I really don't know, but this is bad. This is hokey. So I really have no clue why these people basically ran this to the DLC and then spliced into the network here. So we're still reading 60 ohms on the network. So that means the network's intact. I think I want to get this garbage off here, put it back together the way it's supposed to be, and then maybe go from there. I don't really understand why or what these people did. Pretty poor workmanship, that's for sure. Well, maybe they soldered it, that's nice, but I'm gonna cut that garbage out of there and do it right. They may have soldered it, but they still didn't seal it, so that's not gonna hold up very long in Ohio. And they burn through on your crimping seals. Crimping seals are okay if you actually get them to close, but look at that. There's an opening there. They ain't gonna help you in the salt. Okay, I yanked all this baloney out of here. I don't know what that's all about, but I got the CAN bus hooked up the way it should be to these wires here, and also I got it wired back up again to the DLC. Let's take a look with the scope, with the UScope here, and see what the network looks like. Curious if we even have a runner. Well, it starts and runs, that's always a good thing. Let's see what our UScope shows us. All right, that's our CAN high. That looks better. We'll get this out of here, check our CAN low. That looks better too. Let's go ahead and get zoomed in on there a little bit. And get our time going, change our time a bit. Yeah, we got a CAN bus now. We didn't have that before. So I'm really curious to see what else is going on. I might have fixed one of the problems. Let's see if the fuel gauge drops out. Well, the dropout's gone. Right now, the only code I have in the entire vehicle is lost communication with steering angle sensor module. Now, this was very interesting because I had these readings and faults that were showing up, and I really don't think that I fixed much, but the problem that we originally had was gone. So I don't know why this was wired up like this. I hope that we don't have any more issues there. Next up was a used computer in a 2008 Dodge Avenger. You see here we had a different part number, had to do the old switcheroo to the files, and we're all set, ready to roll here. We got a no crank, no start on this GMC Acadia. If you look here, you may not be able to see it, but the check engine light is barely dim. It's just barely on there. Let me see if I can get that. But as I go to crank, you may see it light up. So with the key on, we're going to check for voltage at the ECM and emission fuses right over here. And we always test our meter first, make sure we've got ourselves 12 volts. And we've got 7 volts on these fuses down here. These are the emissions fuses. This whole row, if I'm not mistaken, gets controlled by the PCM relay. We're going to have to look that up, but that's what we're after. Now on this Acadia, it was very interesting because you're seeing 7 volts at a bunch of fuses. The shop that I was dealing with did a great job getting to the point, and they knew they had 7 volts, and that was bad at those fuses. So I kind of pursued a voltage drop inside the fuse block, thinking, okay, am I dropping voltage inside the fuse block? Well, that was not the case. What we're seeing is the other end of all these components that are usually powered up, we're seeing the voltage basically coming from the PCM through those components because there's no ground in the PCM. We're pretty confident we got a bad ground back there where they usually are. As you see, we've got the 7 volts reading here, but this time we're on the back of our powertrain control module. These are the ground wires to it. And if you listen, if I ground this red wire is actually going to ground. Listen what happens here. You can hear everything coming alive, and we do have a check engine light. The vehicle will start. This is not the right way to do this because we'll have too much current flowing through this wire at that point. We have to ground this properly, fix the actual bad spot. Next up, we got ourselves a 2008 Toyota Tundra. Check this out. Dry as a bone. I was called to this vehicle because the shop thought that there was a immobilizer issue. For some reason or another, I think their scan tool was misleading them. I didn't see any immobilizer codes, and I told them I knew that they had a fuel system issue, and they decided they want to diagnose that on their own. Next up, we got ourselves a 2002 G-Van setting a mass airflow sensor code. If you look here, we got 1.4 volts when we're back probing into the pink wire of the mass airflow sensor. That should be how checked for the fuse over here. We do have decent voltage at the fuse. And kind of just like yesterday, start doing a wiggle test, we can get right onto the problem. You see here, I'm just touching down here, I'm wiggling this harness. I'm pretty sure that I'm probably within 2 or 3 feet of this problem here. This is wiggling this harness where it goes back. This is a tough vehicle to work on. For those of you familiar, there's just not a lot of room to go, but I was wiggling the wire back down where it goes above the alternator down there. So I'm going to keep on doing that and see if I can pursue here. Okay, so after just a little bit of digging, literally about, I think, what, 2 minutes, Indy? How long? Maybe 2 minutes?
Yeah, less than
2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Let me get zoomed in here. We got down there, and there is our pink wire. I kind of opened up the harness, and once I found the pink wire, I figured I'd give it a tug, and it broke right off. So there's the problem. All good. Well, as you see, everyone, I'm running behind today. If you're still watching, I appreciate your support, and do click the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate that. If you guys have any questions about the membership site, let me know. I spent a part of my morning, actually this morning, playing with some ideas that I'm working on for the fuel trim lesson. Like I said, that lesson's free to anybody, even on a free membership. But if you're signed up for the Core Premium, we got that drawing on the 8th. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.